this week. So.
We are a day and a half away from Blackhawks Training Camp. We've got rosters. We've got schedules. We've got Matt Grzelcyk. Lots to talk about today on CHGO Blackhawks. Happy Tuesday. Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast. I'm Jay Zawoski with Mario Tirabassi. Joey Christopoulos is here running the show for us today. We're glad you're with us. Do us a favor. Hit that like button for us. Make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube page if you're listening on the podcast. Thank you. We love you. Make sure you're following or subscribed there as well. And leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and or Spotify. Before we get started, I want to remind you that we are, for the remainder of this month, raising funds for Big Brothers, Big Sisters. This is our month of giving at CHGO in ALLCITY. So if you want to kick in a couple bucks, you can donate on the YouTube page. You can scan. Is there a QR code on that graphic, Joey? No. There is not. You can go to bbbs.org to donate there. bbbs.org/ALLCITY. That way they know you went there through us. Do that. Give a couple bucks. And we've been telling everybody all month, if you want to sacrifice a cup of coffee a week, maybe a pack of smokes a week, to help these Big Brothers, Big Sisters, it goes a long way. If everybody watching all the ALLCITY shows does that, everybody kicks in $5. It might not feel like much as a one-time donation, but if everybody did it, we'd raise a ton of money. Right now, from what we understand, CHGO is in the lead of all the ALLCITY markets, which is
what else is surprising?
Our teams suck, but we donate well, and we're generous people. So keep that up. Let's blow these other ALLCITY network shows out of the water. Keep giving, bbbs.org/ALLCITY. All right. Well, we're almost there. Tomorrow, the players will report for their physicals. So that will be their official open for training camp. And then the on-ice portion begins on Thursday at Fifth Third Arena. We've got schedules. We've got information. One thing I can tell you, the Blackhawks have confirmed they will not be requiring tickets to attend training camp. So if you want to go to Fifth Third, you can.
Just show up. Yep. Free and open to the public. And as Greg said on Twitter today, don't take our parking spots, please.
Yes. Do not do that. Exactly.
But yeah, come out and see all your favorite Blackhawks, including
Matt Grzelcyk.
But not limited to Matt Grzelcyk.
Well, let's start there. That's the big surprise on the roster. Laurent Brossoit and Ty Henry marked as injured. No surprise there. Wyatt Kaiser is on the roster, but it says still no contract.
Yep.
It doesn't say that, but it indicates there's no contract there.
It says not on a contract.
Right.
So,
but this morning, Elliot Friedman had it first, and it's confirmed on the team roster here. A defenseman, Matt Grzelcyk, who spent last year with the Pittsburgh Penguins, 82 games, 1 goal, 39 assists, left-handed, left-side defenseman, is on a PTO. Now, that doesn't mean he's been signed. It doesn't mean he's going to be on the team when the season begins, but it's something that got my eyebrows raised because, again, Wyatt Kaiser, left side defenseman, no contract. Maybe this is a little bit of a warning shot across the bow to Wyatt Kaiser that, hey, we've got your replacement in-house right now.
Yeah, I mean, so PTO is not paid time off in this situation. It is professional tryout. So it's a tryout contract. So yeah, I mean, he'll be in camp, and as far as I can remember, because we were talking before the show started, Jared Tenorti was a waiver claim. I think this is the first PTO into training camp of Kyle Davidson's tenure, as far as I can remember. Because I looked back at some of the other rosters for training camp, and there were some, there's always guys that are, some lower level players. But as far as I can understand, everyone that usually is there for training camp is on a regular contract. I know I was personally stumping for Phil Kessel one training camp. That didn't happen, unfortunately.
Would have been fun just for camp anyway.
So this is not a normal practice to have PTO players of this caliber come into training camp under Kyle Davidson. So it definitely got my eyebrows raised, especially with the Wyatt Kaiser situation still unresolved, and for the fact that, yes, Matt Grzelcyk is not the perfect defenseman, but a 40-point defenseman over a full 30 or 82 game schedule last year. Like it was surprising that he was still a free agent, to me at least.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very intrigued by what this could signal. Is it insurance for the young defensemen not being ready to be full-time NHLers? That's where I lean. If I want to twirl the mustache, could this be Kyle Davidson saying to Wyatt Kaiser, okay, if you don't want to be here, somebody else will take your spot? It's interesting.
Well, so yes, and I look, I don't think Kyle Davidson's the kind of guy that is going to be like, look at this, Wyatt Kaiser, you bastard. We just signed Matt Grzelcyk. Take that, agents. No, I think that he is protecting himself from training camp if Kevin Korchinski doesn't look quite ready. If Del Mastro and Allen maybe feel like they need more time, you've got a veteran guy you can sign, you can plug right in, and you're not feeling long-term pot committed to him. If those guys suddenly prove ready, maybe it's Korchinski or any of those guys I mentioned, play 10, 15 games in Rockford, then all of a sudden, okay, good. Now they feel ready. You waive Matt Grzelcyk, and what will be will be. I wouldn't get too worked up about it yet. I will say this. I think Matt Grzelcyk is a lesser player than Wyatt Kaiser. I'd rather see Del Mastro or Korchinski play here.
Yes.
But I also do trust that Davidson and Blashill are not going to put a kid that's not ready in the lineup simply because they're a kid and simply because we have the appetite to see all the kids play all the minutes. It's up to them to protect the development of those players. So if they had Wyatt Kaiser penciled in as left D3, which I think a lot of us did, and they have envisioned more time for the other guys mentioned, then fine. Grzelcyk here for a short amount of time while these guys get ready. I have no problem with it. Does it excite me? No. Is he good or a needle mover? Not really. The fancy stats look bad. And I think he's what I call the Kyle Calder rule, is you're on a bad team and someone has to get points. I think Matt Grzelcyk is one of those guys maybe. I don't want to take too much away from him, but I don't think it's a guy that's going to make the Hawks significantly better or significantly worse. I think it is exactly what it feels like, an insurance policy.
Yeah, I think you look at what he did last season in Pittsburgh, a career high 40 points, 15 power play points last season. Like, it wasn't the guy that was, I don't think you can kind of attribute it akin to like Eric Gustafsson, where he went on his one season heater of 60 points and it was just like, wow, now everyone's got to have Eric Gustafsson. I don't think it's anything like that.
No.
But I think it's to say that you had a half point per game defenseman on a bad team. I think he still brought something to the table, as you see from our friend Jay Fresh Hockey, the fancy stats on the right side. That chart is trending downwards.
Yeah,
is
it
not
also
ideal.
It's when he joined a bad team.
But yeah,
too,
going from Boston to Pittsburgh, I think by all accounts, like, this is a guy that deserved a chance somewhere in the NHL, and I think the Blackhawks ended up giving him that opportunity based off of the fact that, yeah, they're going into this season, outside of Connor Murphy, all of your defensemen were going to be 24 years old or younger, a lot of them with less than a full NHL years of experience of games played. So it feels more like an insurance policy and a very low risk move that if he comes in on a PTO, right, and the young players are at the level that you want them to be at, okay, you had the opportunity to play. We got you into some preseason games or whatever it is. Maybe another opportunity is going to be out there for you to sign with the team. We're going to be good with our kids. If it comes down to, Del Mastro, Allen, and Korchinski aren't all NHL ready, here's someone on the left side that you can throw in there, and you're not going to, be killed necessarily by third pair minutes. And you still got to figure out what's going on with Wyatt Kaiser. If he's not in the fold, then you need someone like Matt Grzelcyk to play those minutes and play in that role. And if Wyatt Kaiser is in the fold, then it's more chips stacked against the fact that maybe Matt Grzelcyk's here longer than a few weeks. But I don't know. It with it not being a normal Kyle Davidson thing, it raises my antenna a little bit of like, it's interesting.
Yeah. And again, I think I wouldn't read too much into, does this mean they've already made a decision on some of these young defensemen? No, but I think it is smart to have an insurance policy considering where things seem to be with Wyatt Kaiser, because like I mentioned to start the show, tomorrow is the day of the physicals, and he cannot go to the physicals if he does not have a contract.
Right.
So, and now the question asks, if Wyatt Kaiser signs a contract before, tomorrow morning, now what did he make of this thing? What do you make of Matt Grzelcyk? Maybe it's just a body for camp.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a guy they think, hey, let's see what he's got. Take a look. There's no pressure to sign. You're not obligated to do anything with Matt Grzelcyk. It also gives him the opportunity to probably play in a preseason game or two and display what he's got for other teams around the league. I remember we were talking about historic PTOs. Brent Sobel, before joining the 2010 Hawks, was on a PTO with the Red Wings and was in camp with the Red Wings. And I think the Hawks, I don't remember if Detroit let him go or if the Hawks were just like, well, we're just going to give you an NHL contract. So he left Detroit to come to Chicago and won a Stanley Cup with the Blackhawks. People forget that happened, that the Hawks won a Stanley Cup in 2010, then again in 2013, and then once more in 2015.
Yeah.
But so, yeah, I mean, these things are opportunities for guys looking for work. So let's not, I don't think, even if they do sign him, I probably don't think it's worth freaking out about one way or the other. You know that this regime is bullish on the prospects they have. They want these kids to play. They want these kids to thrive. Kyle Davidson's tenure as Blackhawks GM is going to be based on the development of these young players. So he's not going to do anything that's going to prevent them from playing if they're ready. He wants them as badly as anybody does, but he's also, as I said earlier, he's not going to put them in a position if they're not ready in his mind to play at the NHL level. Someone in the chat said it's the defensive version of Sam Lafferty. Yes. It's an insurance policy, and if you want to scratch him or if you want to waive him after 20 games or trade him or whatever it might be after a while, once you've determined your kids are fully ready, cool.
If he even gets a real contract.
If it even happens,
yeah.
Which remains to be seen.
I mean, looking at the training camp roster for the defensemen, I see one birthday besides the AHL's Kevin Fitzgerald and now Matt Grzelcyk that is in the year that starts with a 1-9. Only one. So I think even if you have
home. See you guys later.
I think even if you have, this, you have this influx of young defensemen, even for training camp purposes, you still need someone who's been around the block to just be someone that can be in the room, another defensive mind, someone to bounce ideas off of, someone who's played a lot of NHL games other than Connor Murphy. So having Matt Grzelcyk around for these young defensemen to kind of be that resource, I don't think is a terrible idea.
I also don't mind him. It's a guy who has got a lot of success in the power play.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know we'd all like to see Alex Vlasic get an opportunity, but he's going to be counted on now with such a young core to be your top defensive defenseman. So maybe you don't want to give him an extra 4 or 6 minutes a night on the power play every night when he's already going to be probably drawing the toughest matchup. So a lot here. We'll have time to analyze it, but hey, camp opens in, less than 24 hours. So or just over 24 hours. So this is what we got to talk about right now.
Yeah.
People have thoughts on Matt Grzelcyk.
Well, yeah, I think just the timing of it right before training camp, Wyatt Kaiser is still unsigned, and you sign a guy who is a left side puck moving defenseman to fill that role, and you're just like throws you for a loop.
Right.
So we'll see how it plays out. I can't wait for the 3:05 p.m. News drop today of Wyatt Kaiser's contract.
Yeah, you know that's happening.
Can't wait.
100%. All right, we'll talk to you on the other side of the break zone. Already 50 likes. That's good. Could be better, though. Hit that like button for us.
It's more
Let's
points
get those
than Matt
numbers
Grzelcyk had last year.
100%. And double the points of Murphy, as Andrew points out.
It's true.
Because Connor Murphy, offensive defenseman. We're back in two on CHGO Blackhawks.
Defensive.
I know I was joking. It was sarcasm.
Okay.
Sarcasm font.
Gotcha.
Whatever the sport, the app to bet is Circa Sports. Illinois football is underway in most NFL cities. It'll start here soon, I think. I hope.
Yes.
NFL football?
Week 3.
There's been football. It's just not NFL football.
Everyone knows the season really starts week 3.
Exactly. Circa Sports, it's sports betting the way it should be. Circa Sports Illinois, they have high betting limits, low holds, and the best customer service in the world. Bet on all your favorite teams or the teams you hate in every game this season, because those teams we hate, they're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Interesting. Spreads, props, futures, or in-game, Circa Sports has it. Fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Again, that's circasports.com.
Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric has been serving the Chicagoland area for over 50 years. So they know something about false fall and second summer, but they know winter will be here before you know it. Is your heating up for the challenge? If you have a plumbing emergency, call Four Seasons. If you have an electrical emergency, call Four Seasons. Need a new hot water tank installed today?
I hope not.
Call Four Seasons.
Okay.
That's the answer I was looking for. Now is the time to schedule your Four Seasons furnace tune-up, and at Four Seasons, they guarantee same-day installation for all of your heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, and generator needs with no extra charge for nights, weekends, and holidays. Call today and save $50 from your trusted local experts who are Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all of their special offers and money-saving coupons. Again, that's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com.
All right, we're back on CHGO Blackhawks. So just to share with you the practice schedule for this week, Thursday, 8:30 practice session, 9:30 practice session, and then 11:40. Kyle Davidson will talk at 11.
What are we doing?
We'll bring those. We'll bring those comments to you on the show Thursday.
8:30.
Yeah.
Some of us live in Wisconsin almost.
Oh,
come on.
If it isn't the consequences of our choices.
Come on here.
I live in almost Indiana.
8:30 practice.
Friday, 9:15, 9:30, 11:25 practice sessions, and then Saturday, 8:30, 9:30, 11:40. Sunday, 8:30, 9:30, 11:40. So none of those need tickets. So you can go to those. They practice Monday as well. Tuesday, you've got the first preseason game. We're a week away from the first preseason
Coming
game
up fast.
in Detroit.
Random question.
Yes.
What time do you think Connor Bedard goes to bed at night
Well,
for this type of training
they
camp?
tuck him in his PJs.
Right? Are we talking?
I think
is
iPad
it 7
time-
p.m. shut-eye?
I think iPad time is over after dinner.
Gets a little bit of screen time.
no,
it's
he
a-
sneaks the iPad up. Come on,
Yeah,
now.
probably. Gets a warm glass of milk and then goes to bed probably 8:30, 8:45.
Yeah, 8:30, 8:45, probably up by 4:35.
Yeah, well,
to
he
be at
wakes
the
up.
rink.
He wakes up crying, and then they have to tuck him back in, put on the little white noise machine next to his little bed.
He's 20
He's
now.
20 now.
We
Watch a
can-
little
He's a man.
Watch a little X-Men in the morning.
He's no longer a teenager.
I'm just saying that's an early call time.
That
and
is.
they're trying to get their bodies in shape right
No,
now. So
that
I'm just
is,
imagining
yeah.
they
I'm-
have to be in bed by
I'm
like
sure
8 o'clock.
I'm sure the 10 p.m. Nighttime is pretty standard.
Yeah.
First time ever, I think. Daughter woke up early this morning and walked down and woke me up.
Oh,
First time that's ever happened. So that was
is that good or bad?
It was fine. She was just
Yeah.
like needed a little reassurance, and I said, "Oh, you can just put your head down on the couch. It's okay." And went out there, and she fell asleep like instantly.
Nice. Good parenting. Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter is always the first one up in our house. Which
And a
is
thumbs down for me talking about my daughter. Thank you for that thumbs down. Awesome. Talk more hockey. We don't care about your personal
you
lives.
may have learned that people on the internet are weird,
Yeah.
as evidenced by my Twitter yesterday, which was interesting.
Oh, yes. That was a...
Yes. All right. Let's. Anything else we need to share? If you missed it, we will share Kyle Davidson tomorrow after he speaks. Thursday. Thank you.
Thursday.
After he speaks.
We'll get the latest updates on the medicals of Laurent Brossoit, and if Wyatt Kaiser doesn't have a contract, that'll be interesting to hear about.
It will be.
Where things stand with that.
The more time that goes by with this, the weirder it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Well, again, look around the league. Mason McTavish is still unsigned. Luke Hughes is still unsigned. Evan Evangelista is still unsigned. Like, those are young and important players to those teams, just still without contracts.
Yeah. All right.
It's a new NHL, and these kids don't just get wwhatever they want nowadays.
Gotta earn it. No one wants to work anymore.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
Let's get to the mailbag, shall we? This one from Hitch. He said, you talked on Wednesday about how all the prospect gurus always rave about how strong the Hawks prospect system is, but which NHL team has the worst prospect system? Do the experts ever talk about that? I assume the perennial contenders are thin in their prospect ranks, but do you know any systems that should be good but aren't? That's a good question. You're right.
Yeah,
like
should be good but aren't.
Like the Florida Panthers are down there, because they're just always trying to win.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to think of a team that should have better prospects than they do.
So I'll go with friend of the program, Scott Wheeler. He did his prospect pool rankings for The Athletic. The Blackhawks were number 2 on his list. Number 32 on his list, staying in the All-City network, is the Avalanche. 32nd worst prospect system in the NHL, according to Scott Wheeler. Also down there, 31st, the Oilers. 30th, the Golden Knights. 29th, the Panthers. 28th, the Lightning. So all the teams that are going to be favored to win the Stanley Cup, they said, as Michael Jordan would say, F them kids. I'll say a team that I think their prospect system should be better, but is not. For all the times that they've kind of been rebuild and on the fly and down in the lottery, Ottawa.
I agree.
Ottawa, I feel like they've maybe given up a few prospects in attempts to compete faster than expected, but eventually Brady Tkachuk wasn't a prospect anymore, and Jake Sanderson, I don't think is a prospect anymore. So, you got some of those pieces that are now fully NHL players out of the prospect pool. They haven't really
is probably their big one right now.
They haven't really loaded beyond that.
Yeah. So I think for teams that have not had a ton of success that are towards the bottom, Ottawa stands out for sure.
Yeah. But usually, if you look at the rolling standings over like a 3 or 4 year period. Usually the teams that are at the top of the standings and the bottom, when you talk about prospects, you flip that table over. Yeah. And it reflects that.
Yep. Brian asked about Detroit. Detroit's, Stephen Ellis has them 11th.
Scott Wheeler also has them 11th.
So they're not great, but they're not terrible. They're kind of in the middle, just like the actual Red Wings.
Top third of the prospect pool is fine.
All right. Rex, by the way, just became a member on our YouTube.
Thanks, Rex.
So thanks. Yeah, we do have YouTube memberships. If you want to sign up for those, we have so much stuff to tell you about that sometimes I forget.
Did we mention the ALLCITY newsletter that Patrick Norton has coming out?
And we have a sale.
Yes, we do have a sale.
Sunday Tailgate Bears.
All the merch is on sale. AllCHGO.com, 20% off. Everything up to 85% off some things. If you want to become a YouTube member, you got a $5 MVP tier that gives you access to emojis, members only post polls, and priority comments. The Hall of Fame tier gives you all that and members only videos and shout outs. So that's the YouTube thing. I mentioned the sale. We mentioned Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
Blackhawks takeaways.
Blackhawks
takeovers.
Yeah, takeovers.
Go-overs,
Those are almost sold out. Are we fully sold out yet?
Last look, we were more than halfway sold out for the entirety of our takeovers.
Yes.
Which are December 13th against the Red Wings. That's sold out.
That one's
sure.
sold out.
January 19th against the Winnipeg Jets. That one had, as we launched it to the public, had only 3 tickets left. And then April 15th, the regular season finale at home against the San Jose Sharks. That one was about halfway sold. So jump on those tickets if they're still available. ALLCITY.com or ALLCHGO.com rather. Go to the events tab and you'll find our takeovers there.
All right, and sign up for Patrick Norton's newsletter, allchgo.com/newsletter. He's funny. He's great. It's good stuff. It's in your inbox if you're a diehard already. Open it, read it. It gets you caught up on the day in sports, so you're ready to go to work and talk sports with an educated background on stuff. So, all right, that's everything. Do we check all the boxes, Joey?
I think that's pretty much every box.
Anything from the All-City meeting this morning? No.
Here, I'll share the financials for the network.
Yeah. Here's how we're doing.
I think we're in good shape, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. Those scare me. All hands meeting. I'm like, oh, we're all fired. Why is that everyone's first thought anytime there's an all hands meeting?
I do expect bad news every time.
We've had some interesting meetings.
Yes, we have had that.
We're canceling Christmas.
Not going to lie.
Yeah.
I always check.
No, good news today.
I always check who's invited to the meeting.
That's true.
And
I think, though, with a week lead in, I was like, all right, it can't be horrible news. We'd find out.
That's like the most Goodfellas thing you've ever said in your life. I'm checking who's going to the meeting. It's just right.
Who's supposed to be here?
Walking right through the garage, Mario.
Is
you're
anyone
getting
supposed to be that's not?
Yeah, when DJ Bean pops in, you know it's a big deal.
Mario's gone. We did everything we could, but he's gone.
Speaking of DJ, I reached out to him about Matt Grzelcyk, just get a temperature on him. He says, good guy, nice guy to root for.
Can he play hockey, Deej?
Can play hockey. We've confirmed that.
Okay.
So that's good.
He can play hockey well?
So to DJ's words, he says it was tough for him in Boston to really break out because they had Torrey Krug, who was the exact same player, only better.
Okay, fair.
So true value, Torrey Krug is Matt Grzelcyk, according to DJ Bean.
Great value, Torrey Krug. We'll take him.
Great value or true value? What's the difference?
No, true value is the hardware store. Great
store.
value is the Walmart
Great
version.
Value. All right, I'll let your bits be your bits.
All right, Atomic Hawk says something I don't understand is if you're Kirill Kaprisov, why would you waive your no movement clause to go to another team who those assets would lower their chance of contending instead of dealing with one more mediocre year before signing with the team in free agency? So you're saying, okay, so if Kaprizov's waiving his no movement clause, that's with the assumption that he's joining a team he wants to join, and there is a long-term agreement tied to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I think the question is, to get Kaprizov, that team that he's going to would likely have to give up things that would help him theoretically in the immediacy.
Sure, unless you're looking at it like what the Hurricanes did with Mikko Rantanen, is they just kind of flipped a guy they were having trouble signing. Right? It was Natchez? Was it?
It was Natchez.
Yeah, it was Natchez. So they got a good player.
Natchez wanted a new contract,
right?
And it didn't seem like it was going to happen in Carolina. And Rantanen, you flipped those guys, and
Carolina tried to get Mitch Marner first,
right?
And then Marner wouldn't waive to go to Carolina, so they moved on to Rantanen.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be something like that. If it is we're going to rent you for the playoffs and just slightly upgrade kind of a thing. So
yeah. I mean, I guess the best case scenario for Kaprizov is if he's looking to go to a new team, that the Wild would get a deal done that doesn't include many established NHL players, but that doesn't benefit them in the immediacy since they're trying to be a playoff team right now.
They kind of have to get something back that helps them right away.
Yeah, you have to.
Even if it's not, it's not going to be a player of Kaprizov's level, but it can't be for picks and prospects.
Kaprizov for Crosby, 1-for-1.
Sure.
How about that?
Sounds fun.
Speaking of Kirill Kaprizov, Michael Russo of Minnesota Wild Athletic Beat, he put out here from a not sponsored gambling site, Kirill Kaprizov's next team odds according to non-sponsored gambling site. Carolina Hurricanes, plus 400 odds. Detroit Red Wings, plus 450 odds.
No.
Your Chicago Blackhawks, plus 450 odds. Minnesota Wild, plus 550. So according to non-sponsored gambling site, the Blackhawks and Red Wings are tied for the second best odds to land Kirill Kaprizov.
And they have better odds than him staying
in Minnesota. Yep.
I'll take that.
So take that for what it's worth.
All right. I will. I don't know what it's worth because it's not one of our favorite gambling sites.
It's not.
Like Circa.
I don't know how much to trust it as far as I can throw it.
That's true.
And I can throw it pretty far. Right over those mountains over there.
Back in 82, I throw a football over a mountain. All right, we're going to hit the break zone one more time. Hit the like button. Back to the mailbag in a moment on CHGO Blackhawks. Today when I checked my email and saw the Blackhawks training camp schedule and saw the first few days were opening at 8:30 in the morning, kind of felt down in the dumps, feeling a little soft. You know what I did? Got to the office, cracked myself an RC Cola.
Nice.
No more softness. I'm ready to go. I'm ready for camp. I'm actually going to go when the show ends and just wait until Thursday morning.
Just camp out.
I'll do tomorrow's show from the parking lot, damn it. I am ready because of RC Cola. RC Cola is an original cola that doesn't fold under the pressure. RC is an OG cola in a world of spineless soft drinks. You're sick of the dragon fruit acai sparkling water that tastes like someone ate dragon fruit and then burped it into a can and then closed it up. No, you want taste. You want pizzazz with your pop. RC tastes like a punch in the throat. Get some at your local store. Stock up for all the ball games this weekend. RC's the move for whatever you're doing. RC Cola is not a soft drink, just damn good cola.
It's good to crack open when you're watching your favorite sports teams, and you can do that on Chicago Sports Network. Ooh. They're back as the official TV and streaming home of the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox, broadcasting over 300 live games per year, and they offer the All Access plan, which is the $29.99 a month, that gives you access to all games and programming on their network, and individual team plans at $19.99 a month that gives you access to the games of the team you select. You can sign up to watch CHSN at chsn.com, or you can watch via the CHSN app, which can be downloaded on Apple and Android devices, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, and Samsung TV. CHSN is also available on Xfinity, DirecTV, DirecTV Stream, and Fubo. For more details, visit chsn.com. It's going to be great to be able to watch all of your favorite teams do whatever it is that they do this season.
Win.
Hopefully.
Or lose. Damn, trying to match the pose again. I can't get it right.
It's hard. You just got to remember. You
got to pronounce it. You got to do like a Vogue thing.
I get like chalk lines. So I know where to put my hands.
The thinking man. Do the thinking. Yeah, perfect.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
All right, Taking the Temp is presented by your local trusted experts at Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their special offers and money-saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com. We've got some fans chiming in about the next location for Kirill Kaprisov. Chris Wass says the Rangers. Pat Jewers says if you're stuck in Minnesota, wouldn't you want out too?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
I agree.
Carolina, boring. Like if Kaprizov isn't happy in Minnesota because he's not getting the star power he feels he deserves, which I think he's not getting. I think that he's toiling in obscurity in Minnesota. Going to Carolina is not going to fix that.
Gets him closer to the Stanley Cup, I'd say. I'd say it's a better chance that Carolina can reach the Stanley Cup final with Kirill Kaprizov than the Minnesota Wild doing it with Kirill Kaprizov. So
yeah, true.
I think that's a driving factor there. You add Kaprizov to the Hurricanes, and they become a more solidified contender in the East to, the conference that's run by the Panthers right now.
What if they flipped Logan Stankoven for Kirill Kaprizov and it ultimately turned out to be Martin Necas for Kirill Kaprizov?
I mean, the trade tree is wild, but I think you come out the other end
feeling pretty good, right?
Feeling pretty good, yeah, I would say so.
You feel better than you did when Mikko Rantanen was there for a week and was like, you know what?
I don't want to be here.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Take me somewhere else. And we also have people chiming in on RC Cola. Sean Fitzgerald says, drinking RC as we're talking, the best cola.
Yeah.
And Pip Hastings Aviation says RC Cola, the Viagra of the soda world. I'll take your word for it, Pip.
Yeah, I think 4 out of 5 doctors agree.
All right, let's get to another mailbag question here. Thanks for all the great questions this week. This from Lord Tobias. He says, everyone says 2 to 3 years before the Hawks are a playoff team. I think it's more 4 or 5. Look at our division and who the Hawks would need to take over. I think we need to temper our expectations. I hope I'm wrong, though. I think I'm saying 2 to 3 years is when they're firmly in contention for a playoff spot.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to think at this stage by next season, you're talking about a team that is going to be more to deal with in the Central Division. And, you look at where teams are at right now. Are they catching, in this season or next, are they catching Colorado? Are they catching Winnipeg? No. Are they catching Dallas? No. Could they leapfrog Nashville? Maybe. Could they leapfrog a potentially Kirill Kaprizov-less Minnesota Wild team?
Sure.
Maybe. Could they leapfrog the Blues in the next 2 seasons? Maybe. I think it's more of a possibility for them to do that in the next 2 seasons than I think we're talking about 5 years before they're even, in a wild card race or anything like that. We had a conversation with Mark Lazarus yesterday. Just kind of, the Blackhawks haven't been in a chase for the playoffs in over a decade.
2011.
In over a decade.
They're either firmly in or
out.
Firmly out.
Yeah. So I think over the next 2 seasons, you're going to see a team develop into a team that can get into that chase. So I don't think it's 4 to 5 years before you're talking about playoffs. I think realistically, by the end of next season, the expectation should be we should be one of the best 16 teams in the NHL.
Yeah, I would say that, and I also think too, like there's
Maybe
always
I'm too optimistic.
There's always those teams that just out of nowhere fall apart. Like look at Boston. No one saw what was coming with Boston last year, and they just sucked.
Yeah,
and it was just kind of out of the blue. Everyone kind of got old at the same time, and it just didn't work anymore.
Teams go through peaks and valleys.
The Rangers were having this really nice run of a couple of really nice seasons, and they sort of fell apart last year. So there's always a team that falls apart. There's always a team that makes a jump you don't expect. So, look, you've got a lot of young talent, and we don't know when that young talent's going to pop off. It could be this year. It could be next year.
Right.
I think the longer we predict, the more accurate we'll be, right? Because it's probably not going to be this year. It's not impossible. But you look at Connor Bedard 2-3 years down the road, Frank Nazar 2-3 years down the road, Anton Frandel in the fold, whoever they draft this year, a player they might sign or pick up, like,
yeah,
and a prospect maybe you don't expect. I mean, look, 2 years ago, no one was talking about Sam Renzel as a Norris candidate or a Calder candidate, rather.
Right.
People are talking about him as a Calder candidate this year.
Yeah.
That's out of the blue. Sometimes prospects just have that jump, and it could be someone that's here now. Maybe it's Mason West. Maybe it's Vaclav Nestrasil. We don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not here yet, whoever that player is. There's a chance they get Gavin McKenna. And that changes everything, right? So
there's a chance.
Adrienne brings up a good point, too, that everyone thought Nashville was going to be a big contender before last season.
Yeah.
People were picking Nashville to win the Central.
I had much higher hopes for them than they ended up finishing.
Yeah. So you never know. You never know where these fall-offs and where these jumps are going to come from. So
yeah.
It's hard to look ahead 2 to 3 years and say, like, well, Dallas. Well, I mean, at some point, maybe all the miles on like guys like Miro Heiskanen and Eriksson Ek and like that, it starts to take its toll, and they start to lose a step. It happened very quickly with the Blackhawks. They won the Cup in 2015, and by 2017, that team was toast.
Yeah, like that 17-18 season.
It just happens. It happens very quickly. So
yeah, I think you look at some of those teams that in 2 or 3 years, might if they're kind of just hanging on now, if the things don't go right, then they're going to fall to the wayside. And then look, I mean, those teams that we were talking about earlier about like the contenders have bad prospect pools. When that contender falls off, like the 2015 Blackhawks, and you don't have the prospect pool, it's a long cycle to retool yourself back up to contention. Outside of trying to just trade everybody and free agent your way back to a team, like that just doesn't really happen in the NHL.
Well, and then all of a sudden, guys like Alex DeBrincat and Dylan Strome and Patrick Kane become available from teams that are like, well, we're done. So maybe in 3 years the Rangers just punt and all the talented forwards the Rangers have become available.
Well, I mean, look at like a team that I feel like is still squarely a contender, but it does kind of feel like there's a little bit of teetering, maybe. Like the foundation is not as solid as it was 3 years ago, is Colorado. Like, could they win the division this year? Yeah.
Yep.
Could they also be done in the first round?
Yes.
I could see that happening too.
Yeah.
And I'm
they
not
can win the cup too.
I'm not. Yeah, like I'm not betting against guys like Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar right now.
Right.
But you got to see what the rest of the team does, and I don't know. I just think there are some teams, both in the Central and Pacific, when you're talking about Blackhawks trying to get back to playoff contention and being in that picture. There are a few teams that are like, yeah, they're contenders now, but when the Blackhawks feel like they're going to have their foot on the gas 100%, there might be some teams that are starting to fall apart.
Yep. All right, let's get to another mailbag question here. This from that short guy. He's got a munchkin from Wizard of Oz in his avatar.
Is it? Do you think it's that person who
Guild.
was in Wizard of Oz? Could be.
I think that person's probably long dead.
No, you never know.
I don't know. We'll find out.
They say shorter people live longer.
Could be Muggsy Bogues.
It could be. Let's start that speculation.
It could be Spud Webb.
Yep.
Short people draft. All right. The short guy says, do you think that if Kyle Davidson knew Rinzel would be this good a year ago, that he would have taken Demidov over Levshunov, Pat Verbeek?
I think if you knew you had a guy that at 21 in what would be his first full rookie year, you would feel comfortable saying, yeah, he's probably going to play 20-plus minutes a night on the right side and be penciled into being a top pair guy with Alex Vlasic, I think it might change. I think it might change to the direction of how you look at your prospect pool, because when we were in the thick of the Demidov or Levshunov debate, it was, okay, they don't have that do-it-all, game-changing defenseman. They have a lot of good forwards, especially with Connor Bedard. But if you go back a year and a couple months ago, and you say, "Hey, Sam Rinzel is a number one caliber defenseman," I think it changes the complexity of that discussion, and I think even more of at least the fan base, I think, would have been stumping for Ivan Demidov.
Yeah, I think it would have changed things for sure. I'd love to talk to Kyle Davidson over a beer or on a boat or something. Like, was there any...
Do both.
Remember, with Demidov, there was baggage there. There was, will he come to the United States, right? Remember, Michkov would have been drafted sooner, but basically said, I just want to go to Philly. That came out like, I want to come to Philly, and I'll leave early to come to Philly. That's what I want. And for whatever reason, I don't know what it was about Philly specifically that Michkov really liked. Fine, but
he really wanted to talk to Charlie O'Connor.
Maybe there was something there with Demidov where Davidson was a little bit concerned that maybe he doesn't come to the States, or he doesn't come soon enough, and he weighed that in his decision too. He tried to get both, didn't succeed, so I don't want to give him credit for trying, but he did want both guys. But I think he looked at Levshunov as a guy who's already stateside, already, it's not going to be a problem getting him into the NHL. So if he was split between the two, that was kind of the deciding factor, because look, you get the number 2 pick. You don't know you're going to pick 3rd overall this year, because he probably had some idea 2 summers ago that he was going to sign some veterans and make the team better. They weren't better, but I think he knew what his plan was going to be and expected more last year. So there's a lot more than just, I think it was more than just a coin flip between the two guys, or he believed that Levshunov was better than Demidov. It's probably not that simple. And I think as a GM looking at, look, I got the number 2 overall pick here. We might never pick this high again. I have to get a guy I know is going to be here. It's too big of a risk. It's too big of a risk to take Demidov, and maybe he never comes to the United States, and it really derails the rebuild. Maybe that was unlikely, but it wasn't a 0% chance. So I think in his mind, and I'd like to ask him this someday, and he probably wouldn't answer it on the record, but maybe off, like, was he concerned about Demidov never coming here? And I think that might have played a role too. So I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
And then that's why you try to get both. You try to get Demidov. But see, I think maybe part of and I think maybe a fair criticism would be, well, why not take Demidov at 2 and then trade up for Levshunov later? Maybe you feel like Levshunov would have slipped a little more than Demidov would have. I don't know. Hindsight's always 20/20. But I'm excited that Levshunov's here. I think he's going to be really good. And I hope that this year, Levshunov's play eases the minds of some of those people that are still hung up on Demidov. Because, look, it's not going to get undone. So you might as well just enjoy Levshunov while he's here. It's not fair to Levshunov to be down on him because he's not Ivan Demidov.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, the comparisons now. You can't go back in time and change anything. So you want to root for the success of Artem Levshunov. But yeah, I mean, I feel like, given the question, that if you knew Rinzel was this guy, it would change things. I think it would change probably that order of things.
Yeah, sure.
It probably would have changed okay, if maybe we roll the dice and the sweetener is adding Levshunov to our defensive group, let's roll the dice on that, but let's make sure we get Demidov rather than the inverse of, well, we need that defenseman. Let's get Levshunov and see what we can do to try and get Demidov. I think in my opinion, if I was in that spot, I feel like that would have changed how I would have gone about things.
Yep.
Would you give up what ended up becoming Anton Frondel, and I don't know what the second round pick was, but would you have given up that, or no, it would have been Frondel, a second, and I believe Boisvert for Demidov.
Frondel a second.
Frondel, Boisvert, and the second round pick that they had this year, which they traded up to get Nestrasil, I believe.
Yeah.
I
think I would.
I think I would. I think what you've seen Demidov do since the draft, I would do that.
Yeah.
But can't change the past.
Young Dangle God is back on his game. $1 super chat. If we add Kaprisov and a top 6 pick next summer, we should be a playoff team. Also, you can't forget the most impactful 2026 offseason move of all, re-signing Kaner. There he goes, and he chips.
Is that a 1-day contract?
Oh yeah, maybe.
To retire?
Or he's going to play in the
or a PTO? Is he going to get Grzelcyk?
Yeah, maybe that's what the Hawks are doing for Matt Grzelcyk. Trying to sell some tickets for the preseason.
Yeah, and all his Chicago connections.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. You know, the more time that goes by, I don't think it's impossible that Kane finishes his career here, but I don't even want to light that fuse for Hawks fans because
you might as well.
Yeah. Screw it.
What's one more bring Kane back before training camp starts?
Another $1.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what we like. We got some more? Let's go. 2 more. All right. Ryan C. says, we talked about our all-time favorite superstar players, but let's flip that on its head. Who is your all-time Blackhawks lineup for being bad? 3 forwards, 2 defensemen, and 1 goalie. These can be guys who are straight up bad or guys that just simply underperform what they were here. My 6 are Jack Skilly, Dylan Sekura, Dale Weiss, Alexander Karpovtsov, Jared Tenorti, and Anton Hudobin. Hudobin is good.
Who could forget his 1 game with the Blackhawks and the 6 goals he gave up?
I like that. So let's see. My goalie's going to be Marty Turco. Because when you talk about expectation versus reality, Marty Turco was really bad with the Hawks. So that's my goalie. How about Anders Eriksson for defenseman? That's the guy you traded Chris Chelios for, and he turned into a giant nothing burger. So I'll say that. Alexander Karpovtsov has to be on there. I mean, may he rest in peace, but good Lord, he sucked. It's hard to not put Paul Coffey on there too, though. Because he played, like 7 games?
I think it was about 8 or 9.
Yeah. Up front, we're just trying to think of, like, just bad guys. I mean, Jack Skilly can't be ignored. That was a first-round pick. That was nothing.
It's a bust. Yeah.
I would say Daniel Cleary is up there. And then he went to Detroit and turned into a decent player, which is extra frustrating. So I need one more. I'm trying to think of, like, a signing that just totally... Oh, Theo Fleury. Just completely didn't work. Just completely did not work here for several reasons.
Wasn't the Doug Gilmour signing kind of bad, or was it okay at first and then that went sideways?
The Hawks were bad, but he actually
did okay.
Kind of performed as expected.
Yeah. And then the other one, most recent, is Taylor Hall came in with a lot of expectation that injury just didn't allow him to do anything.
He was
interesting.
hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Pip Hastings is really trying to make you upset.
Yeah. No, Alexei Zhamnov was good for the Hawks. He was a captain of this team and just wasn't as good as Roenick. It's very much similar. It's like the Levshunov Demidov thing. Mm. Don't hate Alex Zhamnov because he was traded for Jeremy Roenick. It's not his fault.
Yeah. I'm going to have Theo Fleury up front. In net, and Hudobin's that's a good pull.
I do appreciate that he got red electrical tape to make his pads look right.
He sure did. Yeah, I'll agree on that Hudobin one. Theo Fleury, TJ Brody. See, did anyone really expect much greatness out of that? No. I think you were just kind of disappointed because you kind of saw what it was going to be anyways, and then it turned out to be basically what it was.
Right.
Yeah, Taylor Hall's a good one. Trying to think who else. All
right, now Pip's just trying to piss me off.
now he's
can you give him like a 5-minute ban?
Bring the hammer down. I'll say post 20-goal season, Andreas Athanasiou.
Oh yeah,
that's one that's just like.
Remember he was on the team last year.
Yeah.
Giggity says Jason Cullimore. That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah,
that was the big. He just won a cup. Let's give him all the money contract. Mm-hmm. John Clem was one of those guys too, who the Hawks signed to be a number one defenseman. That is such a Bill Ward signing. John Clem. John Clem is like Connor Murphy.
Yeah,
and you brought him in to be like your number one. Like no, that's just not who he. That's not who he is.
You wouldn't do that. Yeah, that's tough because I mean there's a lot of like just personal guys that were just frustrating to watch. But yeah. Shout out to those players and their contributions to the Blackhawks.
Yes, Blackhawks legends, all of them.
Brandon Manning, yep, that's definitely one from Winning City Hockey. Yeah, one of the darlings of the summer of 2017 free agent class, along with Chris Kunitz and Cam Ward.
Hey, he wanted a veteran scorer, a stay-at-home defenseman, and a veteran goalie.
And he got all
Joel
of them.
Quenneville asked for, and he got all three.
Yeah.
All right.
Chris Kunitz, by the way, still part of the coaching staff.
What a gig.
Yeah.
Man, just sit around, pass some pucks around.
All you got to do is win 4 Stanley Cups. That's
right.
it.
That's all it takes.
And then you can just be the puck passer.
Another super chat, Aju101 says Levshunov will be significantly better than Demidov. I like your optimism.
I hope you're right.
And Ira says, hey, fellas, I never forget about you guys. Will preseason games be televised? I think so. We don't have a TV schedule, but CHSN exists, and
what else are they broadcasting?
I mean, the Sox are on, but they got a Plus
White
channel.
Sox games.
They've got a Plus channel, so
I would imagine. Don't take this to the bank yet, but I would imagine the home games will be televised, and I'd hope the road games have some sort of either simulcast or that they treat them as, we'll go televise the preseason games. We'll see.
Here we go. CHSN says on the 23rd, Hawks Red Wings will be televised.
That's the first
I'm going
game.
through their schedule here. This website is wonderful. Let's see, 25th. What's the next Hawks game? You got the schedule in front of you, the preseason schedule?
I do.
Does I have to go day by? Oh, here. Hawks and Blues will be on CHSN Plus. That's on the 27th.
Well, they go 3 road games and then 3 home games.
28th. That will be on CHSN Plus against the Wild.
27th, 28th, 30th.
30th. Hawks and Red Wings will be on CHSN.
October 3rd and 4th.
October 3rd. Wild and Hawks, CHSN. And October 4th.
Saturday, the Blues.
Blues and Hawks on CHSN.
There you go. So, yes, they should all be on TV.
Yes. So, there you go.
Good. And then the regular season starts.
All right, we have one more email to get to. This from Windy City Sports Fan. I have a 2-part series to better understand what it's like to be a journalist. Since you were both fans when you became journalists, I know you're still fans, but it must be different since your job revolves around the Hawks while I just watched them as a fan. As a journalist, what aspects do you miss as a fan? Conversely, what do you appreciate more now than when you were a fan?
It's funny. We were just having this conversation last night as well. One of the things that I miss about being a fan, but that I really haven't experienced in at least 10 years, maybe more, is turning it off. Right. I cannot turn off the NHL and the Blackhawks, and that's a blessing and a curse, because I would love to just be able to come home, turn on the game, watch the game, be happy or sad, turn the game off,
right.
and then that's it. And then I, keep up with news with various outlets, CHGO and The Athletic and just whatever, and then watch the game, turn it off. And I don't have that ability anymore. And I'm grateful that I don't, because it's become a career.
Right.
But I also do just miss like that experience of a fan consumer. What I like is that being able to, have the access that we have and have some of the conversations that we've been able to have is just kind of have that behind the scene understanding of like, okay, these are just people. The athletes are not
yes.
like these guys. They're not these on a pedestal, like icons. They're people who are really good at sports.
Well, I think too, like when you think about coaches and executives and GMs, like they're also just people. They're not perfect. They're not, I think there's this perception of, let's talk about Bill Wirtz as an example. And like, there's going to be a percentage of Hawks fans that razz me on this. Like, from all reports, Bill Wirtz was a wonderful guy. Like, in terms of just treating his friends and his family and people he knew, like, really liked him. He was a bad owner.
Yep.
He did not understand how to market his team. He was a cheapskate. Like, all the things that are about Bill Wirtz are true. But there was this image of Bill Wirtz as this, like, how can I screw over the fans? Like Ebenezer Scrooge.
Twirly mustache.
Like, that's just not real. And some of the social media things I've seen about current Hawks leadership is so wild and wacky and crazy and unhinged. It's like they're just moms and dads and husbands and wives and sons and daughters that have a job. Like, there's just not this deep conspiracy to screw you over to make your Hawks experience miserable. Like, it's just, they're just people doing their best most of the time. Do I think there are people in this world that are pure evil? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I do. I think there are people that get off on pissing people off. Yes. Turn to Twitter and find out. It's really easy to find those people. But for the most part, 99% of people are just doing their best and are just trying to get by day to day. And whether they're making, seven figures or they're making $30,000, whatever it might be, I think everyone's just trying to do their best. Everybody's normal. Like, I don't know. I that to me is something that this job has revealed to me is like, oh, okay, it's like just a guy. He's just a person.
Yeah,
or they're just a person.
Being able to talk with like Nick Foligno and Alex Vlasic in the ways that we have over the last 2 years is one of those things that kind of like opened it up for me of just like, oh, like, yeah, like they play the games, they go to practice, they talk to us in the media, but then they like go to the grocery store. Alex Vlasic had to like figure out like what pair of shoes he needed to pack
Lucas
for like,
Reichel had to learn how to take the garbage out.
Yeah, right. Like, Nick Foligno we'd be like, man, he hasn't talked in like a couple of days after practice. Oh, well, he's probably on kid pickup duty. That makes sense.
Right.
Like, he's got to get out of here at, noon or whatever. So, it just kind of like, I feel like for me, being in this position has kind of peeled back the curtain in a way that it's just like, I don't have that like shiny athlete image of like, oh my God, I couldn't possibly have a conversation with Jonathan Toews or Patrick Kane. Like, at this point, we've talked to Marian Hossa and Corey Crawford and Duncan Keith, and it's just like, oh yeah, you could just talk to these people. Like, it's just, they're just normal.
Yeah. Well, I think what's fascinating about what you guys do also is that you're right. Like, as a fan, when you turn on the TV, you sit down and you go, well, it's time for Connor Bedard to be awesome. Where is my goal from Connor Bedard tonight? When it doesn't happen, sometimes as a fan, you're upset, especially if you pay your price to get into the stadium, you get upset. But what you guys do is you try and lean into the imperfection and the fascination of why did it not work tonight? Why is he working so hard to get it right? And the small little details and journey that these guys do to hopefully get to greatness, or just, sometimes remain imperfect, or become Jack Skilly. You know what I mean? One of the two.
Well, we're going to go to overtime here. So if you're watching us on the
it's no big deal today.
Oh, sweet.
We're good.
Fine. We're still here.
Good.
Okay.
Right.
I also think too, I texted my cousins on Sunday morning, time for the Bears to dictate my mood for the next week. And we're there. Adam and Carm were having Adam. Who calls him Adam? Hogue and Carm were having a conversation.
Which one?
In the hallway about the mood in the Hawks locker room, or the Bears locker room, and why are guys smiling? It's just a job. And
right.
The movie Fever Pitch, which is I don't know why I like it so much, but I do. There's this moment where Jimmy Fallon is in the Red Sox just lost Game 6 of the World Series, and he's heartbroken, they're gonna lose it again, they're gonna blow it again, and they go out to a bar, and Johnny Damon and Jason Varitek are just out having dinner, and he's like, here we are tearing our hair out, we're crying, we're upset, we're getting hammered. These three guys are just having dinner, talking and laughing. That's just what it is.
Imagine how exhausted you would be if you lost a really tough game and then you spent every second of the next 24 to 48 hours literally thinking only about those mistakes. You would be exhausted.
Well, you go insane. And
you have to back away, and then you have to reel it back in, and then get back into the details.
What didn't Joe Madden say? I forget what the time limit he put on it, but it was the 20-minute rule or the 2-hour rule. You're allowed to be mad about an outcome for 2 hours, and it's time to move on.
Yeah,
whatever the time frame he put on
and
it,
also never let the pressure exceed the pleasure.
Yeah, right. It's just, and I'll say too, personally for me, for a long time I struggled with. So I went from fan to journalist very quickly, because when I was at the Score, the Hawks got good overnight, air quotes, in the minds of a lot of people, and they needed someone to do it, and I was there. So I was sort of just, because I had the knowledge and had the. I'd been following the team so closely, I was the one to get all these opportunities at the Score for the Cup run, which I then parlayed into this, which is great. But I really early on struggled with, okay, well, now I have to be fully objective, and I have to strip away all the fandom, and I can't cheer, and I think I almost went too far that way sometimes to try to prove my objectivity. And I think what I like about this job is it has allowed me to lean into both sides of it, where I think that we do a good job of covering this team like journalists. If there's good news, if there's bad news, we're going to tell you about it. We're going to tell you what we honestly feel about it, but we're also not going to hide the fact that we want them to win.
Right.
When the Hawks lose a game, we're pissed, and that's real, but it doesn't change the way we cover the team. I hope. I don't feel like it does. I don't feel like I ask questions differently because I'm rooting for Frank Nazar to score. So if Nazar has 3 turnovers, I'm not going to not ask him about those. You know what I mean? I think that we cover the team in a fair way. And I think that, and I think I can speak for Martin, I think I can speak for Greg too, that we cover the team the way that we would want it to be covered. And this is not aimed at anyone on the beat right now, but I think for a long time, the Hawks beat in general was a stepping stone to a bigger beat. So a lot of the people that covered the Blackhawks, and maybe still do, that's not their end game. They're trying to get to the Bears or the Bulls or the Cubs or the Sox or whatever it might be. Very few people said, when I grow up, I want to cover hockey.
And what a shot at Phil Thompson.
It really is. Phil Thompson. Him and his cake-eating ways now with the Bears. No, but
no.
For real. And it's not a knock. That's just reality.
That's
I want to be a
true.
sports journalist. Oh my God, I got a job at the Tribune. That's amazing. All right, I got to cover the Hawks for a few years. Great, I'll work my way up. There's nothing wrong with that. You actually shouldn't want the majority of your journalists rooting for the team. But I think that we are in such a unique place where we're at, where we don't have to deny. And does it cost us a PWHA card? Yeah. It's okay.
Okay.
Would I like to have a vote for the Norris and the Hart and all those things? Of course I would. But I'd rather have my dream job, which I have right now, and cover this team in a way with passion where people that listen to us and watch us know that we're as invested in it as they are, and we have the access to ask the questions they want asked. Instead of just Power play was 0 for 3. What happened? Okay. And that's it. Like, we actually think about it and care about it, and we're forced to as well because of the job. But like, I think we're in such a good, cool place because we're able to approach it from a place of passion. This is what we want to do. This is what we strive to do our whole lives. And now we're here. So I think we're giving people exactly the coverage they want.
Yeah.
And we get to live and die with them too, which is the best of both worlds.
Yeah. And I think people, I hope, appreciate that, is that we will lean into the good, the fandom, but not in a way that just completely washes out anything that's negative or anything that's, trying, if you want to talk objectively about the team, it's just, we're not just going to be like, well, no, of course the Hawks are going to be playoff contenders. They're going to do it this year. Like if we did that 24/7, we would just be homers, stumpers. It'd be a bunch of brags over here.
Yeah.
but
brags is real too.
But I mean, that's what makes him great.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think it's an interesting position. I will say, because of being in the position that we're in, for me personally, and also because we're on TV now, my vocabulary has changed as a fan since starting the podcast. Because
dag nabbit.
Yeah, lots
gosh darn it,
lots of darns and gee gollies. But yeah, I think that is probably something that is different between me on and off the podcast. And I think you can attest to that for times we've watched games.
I think watching road games here, though, there is some salty language sometimes.
Yeah, but I mean, that's where, the most flag flying we can do.
Yes. Swears and Salernos. That's your average road game.
That's our next podcast.
All right. Well, there you go. There's 6 extra minutes of showtime for you, everybody. Do us a favor. Hit that like button on your way out.
Don't say we never do nothing for you.
That's right. And we're almost there. Yeah. I'm going to make a bold prediction.
Oh.
By this time, by 2 o'clock tomorrow, Wyatt Kaiser will have a new contract.
You think?
This is my prediction.
Okay.
Yes, this is my prediction.
What happens if it doesn't come true?
We call him a cotton-headed ninny muggins is what we do.
I get a pay raise.
Oh.
Sorry.
That's how it
only
works?
Fair.
Okay.
Someone has to suffer.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. I think it's fair, Joey, don't you?
If that's how it works, I'm going to make real crazy, bold predictions then.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody, for being here. Thanks for the great questions. We will talk to you tomorrow at 2, or maybe sooner if there's breaking news. We'll find out.
6
talk
or
to you
7.
then on CHGO Blackhawks.
Whatever that's about.
We all silly like the mayor.